Let's talk about Mike Tyson, a name that still sends shockwaves through the world of boxing, decades after his prime. His reputation is legendary, and his presence in the ring was nothing short of electrifying. Sure, everyone remembers the power, those thunderous knockouts that left opponents sprawled on the canvas. But there was more to Iron Mike than just raw, overwhelming force. What really set him apart? Reflexes, lightning fast, animal-like reactions that seemed almost superhuman at times. In a sport where a split second decides everything, Tyson's ability to see and exploit openings was unreal. He could read an opponent's intentions before they even finished their move. He'd slip a punch by a hair, then counter before his opponent even realized what happened. It was a display of anticipation and timing that left crowds in awe. It was brutal, but it was also a thing of beauty, a perfect blend of violence and artistry. Tyson's head and torso moved like he was untouchable. Punches would miss by inches, and he'd already be inside landing his own. His movement was poetry in motion, a dance of destruction. This wasn't just raw talent, it was honed, almost primal instinct, sharpened by relentless training and a deep understanding of the sport. His hand speed was legendary, but his defensive reflexes were just as important. He could block, slip, and counter in the blink of an eye. That combination of explosive offense and uncanny defense made him a force, especially early in his career when he seemed almost invincible. So when you think of Tyson, remember, it wasn't just the iron in his fists, but the quicksilver in his movements that made him extraordinary. He processed and reacted to danger at a speed that left most heavyweights looking slow, almost as if he was operating on a different level. Tyson's boxing was a masterclass in reactive power, a dirty job, done better than almost anyone, and with a style all his own. Let's dig into what made him twitch so effectively, and how those split-second decisions turned him into a legend. Early Tyson wasn't just winning, he was destroying opponents, leaving a trail of stunned fighters and shocked audiences in his wake. His rise was meteoric, and every fight felt like a seismic event in the boxing world, and his reflexes were a huge reason why. Tyson's ability to read his opponents and react in a split second set him apart from everyone else in the ring. In his 1985 debut against Hector Mercedes, the fight lasted just one round, a statement to the world that a new force had arrived. Mercedes barely saw what hit him. Tyson's punches came from angles and with a speed that left opponents bewildered and unable to defend themselves. Tyson wasn't just throwing wild punches, he was slipping, weaving, and exploding with counters. Every move was calculated, every dodge a setup for a devastating blow. His head movement was already phenomenal, making opponents miss and pay instantly. He'd bob and weave, making himself a nearly impossible target. Fights against guys like Sammy Scaff and Trent Singleton, same story. Tyson made them look lost, as if they were fighting a phantom in the ring. He'd close distance, avoid shots, and land devastating counters before his opponents could react. His explosiveness was matched only by his precision. You could see the confusion in their eyes. They were swinging at air, unable to touch him, their confidence crumbling with every missed punch. Tyson's early fights weren't just wins, they were showcases of speed, agility, and reflexes. He was redefining what it meant to be a heavyweight. He was a coiled spring, always ready to strike, his body tensed and primed for action at every moment. This wasn't luck, it was trained reaction, drilled into him from day one. Tyson's legendary coach, Cus D'Amato, made sure of it. The world quickly realized Tyson wasn't just another power puncher, he was something entirely new, a fighter who could outthink and outmove anyone. He was a heavyweight with reaction time that was almost unheard of, moving with the speed of a much lighter man. Those early fights put everyone on notice. Tyson was a phenomenon, and the boxing world was watching with bated breath. The storm had arrived, and it was faster than anyone expected. Tyson's presence changed the atmosphere in every arena he entered. Tyson's reflexes were already rewriting the rules, setting a new standard for what greatness looked like in the ring. Heavyweights are usually known for power, not speed. Then Tyson showed up, a sports car among dump trucks. Compared to legends like Foreman or Holmes, Tyson moved differently. His compact frame let him bob and weave with a speed lighter fighters envied. While others parried or stepped back, Tyson slipped punches by inches and was instantly in position to attack. His reflexes weren't just about fast hands, it was total body reaction. Feet, torso, head, all moving in explosive coordination. Most heavyweights pause between defense and offense. Tyson did both at once. He'd make you miss and hit you in the same breath. That's what made him unique. The agility of a smaller man, the power of a true heavyweight. You couldn't outslug him, and you couldn't outbox him easily. Tyson was a nightmare matchup. His reflexes made him hard to hit and impossible to predict. He was a puzzle few could solve, because the pieces moved too fast. Tyson redefined what a heavyweight could be. He was the complete package. So, how did Tyson get those reflexes? Was it something he was simply born with, or was there a secret behind his lightning-fast reactions? Natural talent played a part, but most of it was forged in the gym, through endless hours of sweat and repetition. Under Customato, Tyson's training was relentless. Every session was intense, pushing him to his physical and mental limits. The peekaboo style wasn't just about high hands, it was about constant movement, perpetual readiness, and always being a step ahead of your opponent. Tyson drilled head movement with slip ropes, weaving under them until it was second nature. He repeated these drills until his body moved before his mind even realized it. Hours on the speed bag built rhythm and timing, not just hand speed. The sound of the bag became a metronome for his reactions. Cuss used a numbering system, calling out punches Tyson had to throw instantly, training his brain and body to react without thinking, almost like a reflexive dance. It was all about muscle memory, so his reactions became instinctual. Every movement was drilled until it was automatic. Throw a jab at Tyson, and his body already knew 3 ways to counter. He didn't have to think, he just reacted. The sheer volume of repetition, sparring, shadow boxing, explosive drills, made his reflexes razor sharp. Every day, he pushed himself to move faster, react quicker. Cuss knew a great defensive fighter needed to anticipate and react almost supernaturally. He built Tyson's instincts to be nearly automatic. Tyson's reflexes weren't a gift. They were earned through sweat, obsession, and a willingness to outwork everyone else. Day in, day out, he worked for it. Early mornings, late nights, he never let up. That's what made him so dangerous. He was always prepared, always ready to strike back. Lightning reflexes built the hard way through relentless training, discipline, and an unbreakable will to be the best. Tyson's defense was all about the peekaboo style crafted by Customato. It wasn't just hiding behind gloves, it was an offensive weapon disguised as defense. The core? Constant head movement, side to side, bobbing, weaving. Tyson's head was never a stationary target, making it tough for opponents to land clean shots. Every slip and weave put him in a better position to counter. He wasn't just dodging, he was reloading. His signature slip outside a jab, come over with a right, duck under a hook, unleash an uppercut. These weren't lucky shots. They were drilled responses executed with blinding speed. Tyson's reflexes let him see and exploit openings instantly. This defensive prowess frustrated and broke opponents' rhythm. Guys used to landing shots suddenly missed and paid for it. The peekaboo, in Tyson's hands, was aggressive, elusive, and turned defense into instant offense. It was a fortress that could bite back. Hard. Tyson's style was a deadly dance, defense and offense fused by reflex. Reflexes in the gym are one thing, using them under pressure is another. Tyson's reaction time led to some of his biggest, most memorable wins. Against Trevor Berbick, Tyson's counter left hook set off a chain reaction. Berbick down, up, down again, finished. That punch was a split-second counter after Berbick committed. In the Michael Spinks fight, it took just 91 seconds. Spinks, an undefeated champ, never got started. Tyson slipped, countered, and Spinks was on the canvas. These fights showed how overwhelming speed and reflexes could nullify even the best opponents. Tyson didn't just dodge random jabs. He made the right move at the right moment, when it mattered most. He turned opponents' aggression against them in an instant. A missed punch by them meant a landed power shot by him. Reflexes weren't a sideshow, they were central to his winning formula. Tyson's split-second reactions turned danger into opportunity. That's how he clinched the big ones. His reflexes were the difference. Facing Tyson wasn't just about fearing his power, it was the unpredictability and speed of his reactions. Opponents would study him, but in the ring, everything happened in fast forward. Even seasoned pros hesitated. Imagine throwing a jab, only to miss as Tyson slips, and before you can react, he's inside landing shots. That messes with your timing and confidence. Hesitation is deadly in boxing. If you're thinking, you're already too slow. Tyson's reflexes forced opponents into a reactive state they couldn't match. Many froze up or threw tentative punches, afraid of the counter. It was a mental game as much as a physical one. Tyson's defense was like trying to catch smoke, always shifting, always out of reach. And when that smoke turned into a punch, it was a rude awakening. His speed made opponents pause and doubt themselves. That hesitation created openings for Tyson. Reflexes gave him a psychological edge as sharp as his punches. Tyson's intimidation wasn't just about power or his stare, it was his reflexes too. Opponents feared getting hit by punches they couldn't see, and missing wildly. Knowing Tyson could dodge by a millimeter and counter instantly planted doubt. Fights were often half won before the first bell. Opponents came in cautious, hesitant, which played right into Tyson's hands. If they threw, his reflexes made them pay. If they didn't, he walked them down. His reputation for speed was psychological warfare. Tyson's reflexes weren't just a skill, they were a statement. You can't hit me, but I can hit you first. That fear was a huge part of the legend of Iron Mike. Tyson's career had highs and lows, but his impact on boxing is undeniable. He changed what people thought a heavyweight could be: agile, elusive, and explosively quick. Young fighters still study his head movement and reflexes, trying to emulate that style. Tyson set a new benchmark for speed and agility in the heavyweight division. He made being quick just as cool as being powerful. Modern fighters borrow from his playbook: defensive responsibility with offensive explosiveness. Tyson proved an aggressive fighter could also be a defensive wizard with the right reflexes. We remember the knockouts, but the lightning-fast reflexes came first. That legacy echoes in boxing gyms everywhere. Tyson wasn't just a champion, he was a phenomenon, and his speed made him unforgettable.